This is DC versus Dracula's all-out war, left for dead but ready for war. I want to quickly get beyond the first hurdle, which is this cover. The more time that I look at it, the more I hate it. It's not just the colours either. Nothing pops, nothing stands out. Everything blends into the same pool of orange mud. The idea, the layout, it's just bad. I bet you haven't even noticed Johnny Constant on the cover. The rest of the comic, I went in with very low expectations, and I was surprised in some ways. This is co-written by Dr. Allard Pokeballs, and I think he is doing a lot of heavy lifting here. But even outside of the writing, there's some stuff worth talking about, like it is in black and white. Bet you didn't see that coming. Other than the red tones, the rest is in black and white, like Schindler's List. This seems quite experimental for what is surely intended to be a mainstream hit with DC characters fighting Draculas. Another thing is this is set after the Versus Draculas. This is set after the all-out war. The humans have already lost. There is a little habitat that they have managed to secure. They are able to defend and hold, but they have lost the fight. Right now, we join some of the survivors who have gone out on a mission. We have Deathstroke leading a small squad comprised of Smurf Devil and Pratt's son. Straight away getting off on a good foot with me with the character selection. You can get a better example of the reds on these two pages here. This team, they have gone in search of the lavatory pits. They want to use them to resurrect Batman, who apparently died off panel in the all-out war that happened before this all-out war comic started. They get attacked by Draculas. Among them is Aztec, who is a Dracula now. And Pratt's son dies straight away. But he did last 3 pages longer than I expected him to. And then Smurf Devil dies as well. But he has a lot more an impressive last stand. I am fine with this. I hate these sorts of series as the Injustices, the DC Easts, where it is just murder all the heroes or have them gone evil. I felt this was an improvement. First we have Smurf Devil and Pratt's son, who are 2 characters that would be ripped in half in the background of a splash page in those other sorts of books. But in the case of Smurf Devil, and as you'll see by the end, even Pratt's son, they were both given some thought. Smurf Devil gets to go out like a hero. He gets a whole action sequence to himself. I am fine with this. I am happy a book is spotlighting characters like this, rather than just having Batman murder all of his Roberts again, or having Superman cook Biffy Baston's brain inside his skull with his heat vision. Oh, by the way, there is a main series to this called DC vs. Dracula's. I assume that is where the actual all-out war takes place. The main plot thing here is that the lavatory pits act as a cure for Dracula-ness. Aztec is cleansed and cured of being a Dracula. So Deathstroke takes him back to the bunker with him, and the people living there start open about having found a cure. And to be honest with you, I would prefer the comic just ditch the Draculas, and instead we had a story about all these B and C-list DC characters living together in this quite small community. Gangbuster is there, but he doesn't have any lines, and he only appears in this one panel. But the thing that I appreciated was that their defence against the Draculas is Captain Adamant, who has become like a small son for the survivors. He generates the same energies as the sun, on a much smaller scale, obviously, and that keeps the Draculas away and allows the survivors to grow food and farm stuff. It must be a pretty boring life for Captain Adamant, but it is just nice that he isn't blown up again. I am assuming in that main series there is a plot point about the sun. Maybe the Draculas use magic to seal off Earth from the sun, or something like that. I won't read it. I'm not interested in it. I am only reading this one because I needed it to get a discount on buying another comic, and because this writer does inspire some faith. And even in this, I think the things that make him, or could make him, a great writer, shine through. You have all these well thought out ideas or considerations with characters that most writers don't give a damn about. Pratt's son comes back here. He apparently survived, and he has wandered back to their camp. He is confronted by Geodude and Vigilante, who are on lookout duty. By the way, Vigilante? Where do they get their crazy names from? Our first hint that Summit isn't kosher is when Prattson unmasks, and we acknowledge that Prattson's face isn't scarred. A nice little continuity detail that they address in the script. And yeah, Prattson, he is a Dracula now, and he easily deals with the two gods. We then cut away to... there is a council, and Deathstroke is trying to lead a resistance against them, because there is always a resistance. I wasn't that keen on these parts, but we do learn a lot of the lore, like how the Draculas have blood farms and death camps. Let's say those come from the main series too, because it's a bit of a cringy allegory. Then the issue ends with a sequence that made me wonder, is Dr. Allard Pokeballs a prank that someone is playing? Is it like one of my viewers? Have one of my viewers decided that the funniest thing ever to do would be to infiltrate the comic book industry and start writing comics with bits that are suspiciously, seemingly aimed squarely at me. We have fucking Prattson versus Captain Atamant. And I almost want to read the next one, but I have a feeling this is it for Prattson and Captain Atamant. Prattson absorbs all of Captain Atamant's energy, and then Prattson explodes. Almost a subversion of expectations. It is usually Captain Atamant who always explodes. I really enjoy parts of this main story, and there are plenty of other things that I want to discuss, like the art. I wonder if the art is good, or if it's merely the stylistic approach that is making it seem special. Having had a quick glance, the main series doesn't have the same style. There is a backup story by a different creative team, and artistically this is interesting too. We have full-on manga style here. Same colour scheme as the main story, but this is a Batgirl story. And it's not actually worth talking about what is happening much. The star here is the art, and I am in favour of manga influence in Western comics, but, and this is a big but, where it is appropriate. I would have never thought Batgirl was something that should be done manga style. Let's see, this is a look at what that would be like. But also, the Batgirl design fucking stinks. The art, everything else about the art, I found appealing and worth looking at. Question of the day. Could Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson sell cataracts to a blind man? My belief is probably. Fuck me. I just realised I might recommend this. I never in a million years expected to be recommending this. Seeing the cover again is making me want to retract that recommendation. Why is it all orange? Wouldn't red have been the appropriate shade to emphasise on the cover? I don't think this is the greatest story or idea ever written, but it found little ways to be more than you expect it to be. I rate this one 7 fangs up. Eh? Fangs.